Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Field of 68's last call.
What's your go-to Applebee's order?
I don't go to Applebee's. We actually call it Crapplebee's, to be honest.
Who's the better team right now, Creighton, Marquette, or UConn?
Con.
What are you doing? What is that? Pray for fans. Oh, come on, Zach. Here we go. It's last call.
It is time for the last call here on the Field of 68 After Dark. I got Tyler Hansbrough. I got Randolph Childress with me tonight. And it's time to get to your questions. Gentlemen, let's start with a question from Jayhawk49. How many teams from the Maui Invitational can legit win the title? RC, what do you think?
Ooh, legit. I think we said Purdue, Marquette. I would go Kansas next. Tennessee would be the fourth team for me, and I wouldn't say I don't know if I could say add anyone outside of Tennessee, but that will require Connect kind of developing into that consistent closer that they need.
Okay, so you're rocking with 4. Is that the number that I heard?
Yeah, potentially, I'm saying I wouldn't go higher than that. My 2 would be, if I just had to say, I feel comfortable saying, it'd be Purdue, Marquette. The other 2, okay, I think, struggle more on the offensive end of the floor for me to say I had to bet. But if we were ranking those teams, that's the order, and what I'd say would be Kansas and Tennessee next. But I feel Purdue and Marquette could definitely be teams.
Got it. So you got 2 you feel great about, 4 you could see.
Feel great about 2.
Tyler, same question to you, Tyler. How many could win the title?
I'm most confident in Kansas. And like I said, I like Hunter. I like McCullough. I like those guys, Harris. But after that, I would roll with Purdue, then Marquette. I'm not sold on Tennessee. I thought their game, especially against Purdue, they weren't as disciplined down the stretch, and I thought they took some bad shots that kind of let the game get out of hand. Yeah, those 3, I'd go Kansas, Purdue, Marquette. I like Kolek. I think Marquette's a team that has also developed. Not a lot of guys left or hit the transfer portal. So I like how they grew like that, and I like Shaka too.
All right, we got another question here from Bradley. Who are you more worried about, Arkansas or Virginia? Tyler, we'll go to you on this one first. What do you got?
Virginia. I think Arkansas, they're athletic. They're big as well. They can make the game messy. But I'm worried about Virginia, and I think I've always said this. Tony Bennett is a great coach, but their slow style can make them susceptible to losing. In particular, to a lot of teams can stay in the game and pull out late. But, yeah, I would be concerned more with Virginia because of their lack of scoring right now.
RC, thoughts?
I'm not concerned about either one, but if I had to pick one, I'm more concerned about Arkansas. I don't think that they can make shots. I'm equally concerned with them. The difference is Arkansas plays at a much faster pace. And the flip side of what you're saying, they both struggle. They both have their offensive issues. The difference is Virginia, even with those offensive issues, is still going to be in games. And I don't know if Arkansas is going to be able to continue to play at that pace they want to play at and not make shots.
It must be so nice to learn lessons in a win. I'm so jealous of that.
Okay.
Just want to say that. While we're talking about those teams, that's a very nice feeling those 2 teams must have. All right, this is from Jacob. RC, it's back to you. Who are your top 3 teams right now?
Purdue, Arizona, and Marquette. And maybe Marquette or UConn. I'm kind of flipping back and forth with those 2.
So is that a 3A, 3B situation?
If I had to be, I would have to be UConn healthy. But if I had to if they're not healthy, then I give the advantage to Marquette. I think Arizona's right there. I think Purdue's there, and I think Marquette.
Okay. Tyler?
Man, I can't just go with the same list as RC.
It's okay, man.
Purdue.
Disagree with me. It's okay.
I'm going to go Purdue, Arizona, and Kansas. That in that order. Yeah, that's what I do. I mean, Edie's dominant. Arizona, I saw them get a big win at Duke in Cameron. That was special. I think Caleb's going to be, playing with more confidence and have a better year. In Kansas, I've already talked about them at length. I'm a big believer in Self and their players right now.
Tyler, I'm getting some vibes here. You're a pretty big Bill Self guy. I don't know the backstory here, but there's some more to that story there. You're pretty high on Self right now.
No, I've always liked his style. I think he's one of the best big man coaches in college. I like that. Obviously, I didn't actually, when I played in the NBA, I started learning more about Self's, system a little bit with their high-low and their two bigs. And I kind of like the freedom and the way that they, those two bigs played off each other. And I thought that was really, I like that style, and I like watching his teams as well. I mean, obviously, to me, he's the best coach right now.
Okay, I'm just curious. Like, I know the transfer portal wasn't around back when you played, but I'm picking up on some
I wouldn't have been in the transfer portal. I guarantee.
Hey, he ain't have to worry about that. There was no better big man system than down in Chapel Hill at the time. You ain't have to worry about that.
No, RC's right about that.
Big man got the ball in Chapel Hill.
Listen, fellas, if there's one thing that I'm good at in this world, it's tampering, okay? I'm about 15 years too late on this, but I'm going to go for it while I can shoot my shot, okay? Listen, RC, we got a question here from Name Brand Cereal for you. How was your first experience at Mackey last week?
Man, listen. Guys, I've been to Cameron and I've been to Kansas. And everybody argues they're the best, and most people will say Kansas is the best. It was as good an atmosphere as I'd ever been in college basketball. And I hadn't been to them all. I know there's. I've been to Arkansas. I've been to Kentucky. I've been to a lot of good places, but Mackey Arena can go with all of them. They're right there. I would take them. I would take them in a consolation prize. I wouldn't be upset at all. It was arguably the best I've been around.
Tyler, you ever been to Mackey?
Not for a home game against Purdue. I went there when I saw a tournament game, which isn't even, you can't even make that into a home atmosphere. But, with RC's point, I've always heard that Kansas has the best atmosphere, and I've never been to a Kansas game. But I am starting to hear a lot about Mackey. I need to get over there and check that out.
Tyler, you'll remember. Like, seriously, it is nice.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Special place for sure. They do not like when Zach Edey doesn't get foul calls. I can tell you that, boys. It's a true thing.
Hey, and the brisket sandwich is pretty good too. If you find yourself out there, the brisket sandwich in there, just FYI, it was good.
I'll check that out too for sure.
I've been trying to get Robbie Hummel for about a year now to open a bar because there's nowhere in general vicinity of Mackey Arena that will sell you a cold beverage hours before a game. We've been trying to convince Robbie Hummel to open Hummies, the bar. I'll be an investor. I'm just saying. We got one more question here. It's Thanksgiving, gentlemen. What's your favorite Thanksgiving side dish? This is from Sean. Tyler, we'll throw to you first. What's the best dish?
Candy yams to me. I destroy them every year. Side dish also pecan pie, and an underrated dish is cherry pie with a scoop of ice cream on top.
Ooh,
I like the sweet potato pie, but I'm gonna go with my wife's blackberry cobbler. She makes a hell of a blackberry cobbler, so I'm gonna go with anything.
Is that? I don't need to get too into the intricacies of the Childress family Thanksgivings, but is that just your wife making the cobbler, RC, or is this like anyone could make the cobbler?
No. My wife can burn. She can cook.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Only my wife.
All right. What's where exactly is the festivities taking place tomorrow? I assume we're all celebrating Thanksgiving, RC. Is it you're hosting?
Yeah, it's at my house.
All right, love it. Tyler, where do you go for Thanksgiving?
I'm with my family back in Kentucky. Everybody lives here now. So, it's going to be a great day.
Gotta love it, gentlemen. I'm just so thankful. I can't wait. We're going to get all the sides going. We're going to get the turkey going. Hey, we are here on the last call here on the Field of 68. We will be back after the break in just a short moment. It's Randolph Childress. It's Tyler Hansbrough. Come get your questions in. We got about 20 minutes left to go. We'll be back after the break. We're back. It's the last call here on the Field of 68 After Dark. If you've been watching the show, thank you for rocking with us all night. It's officially Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to anybody watching this. We got Tyler Hansbrough here. We got Randolph Childress here. This is a question from Kevin. It's directed to me. I'm kind of rattled by it. He says, if every team kind of stinks, who do you think is good? I think a lot of teams are good. I don't know. I don't know where this is coming from. I think a lot of teams are good, Kevin. I think the whole Maui Invitational field's pretty good. What, RC? What am I missing here?
I don't know. I don't know where that came from, man. My man just didn't. He ain't like your energy though. He must have been giving some bad vibes every time we talked about another team. You might have been like, hey.
Listen, I think there's a lot of people who don't like my energy right now. That's perfectly okay with me. I'm going to just persevere here. But Tyler, honestly, I feel like I'm down 14-2 to you, and there's a spotlight on us, and we're at the table tennis table right now. That's how I feel.
Hey, it's great debate, man. You just can't praise everybody. Somebody's got to bring them back down to earth and point out their flaws. It's not a great job to have sometimes.
It can't be all unicorns and rainbows and ponies, gentlemen.
No
all right. It is what it is. Hey, this is a question from Anthony. He says, who do you guys have to win the Big East? Tyler, why don't we throw it your way first? Who wins the Big East? Who you got?
I think it's going to be Creighton. I like Kalkbrenner. I know everyone's high on Marquette right now, and we just talked about how they're going to win the whole thing. But Baylor Shireman, they're a veteran team. I think they can get up, down, score. I think they have a transfer. Stephen Ashworth, I think, is a guy they got in the portal. I think he's a veteran player that's going to come in and be a great point guard addition. But I'm a big believer in Creighton. That's who I'm picking. That's who I'm rolling with.
RC?
Hey, Creighton will be good. Creighton will be good. We know. I think Marquette wins the regular season. And, again, I'm sticking with this. I think come March, I think Villanova is a tough out, and I would not be surprised if they win the Big East championship in the tournament.
Okay, let me make sure I'm making the right
jumping out there
here.
right now. It's Thanksgiving. I'm jumping out there right now. I'm not backing off that. I said what I said, and y'all can call me tomorrow when I'm sitting here in a food coma. But that's what I'm saying.
RC, let me just read this back to you quickly and make sure you want to double down on this. You like Marquette to win one thing. You like Creighton to win another thing. You like Villanova the most in March.
No. I said I like Creighton. They're good. But I said my vote was regular season is Marquette, and I like Villanova to win the Big East tournament.
Okay. So what about the NCAA tournament? Who do you like when we get there?
I like Marquette.
Okay.
That's not what the question was.
It wasn't the question. I'm putting you under the hot seat because I feel like there's...
I like Marquette. I like Marquette. I can see Marquette in Phoenix. They're a team right now. I see them in Phoenix.
Okay. There's just one particular program who happens to be the defending national champions that isn't getting mentioned with these other three teams, including Villanova, RC.
They're like Creighton. They're top 5, 6 teams in the country. And they'll be right there. I think Marquette, they'll be there. Creighton, UConn, and Marquette will fight all the way to the regular season title by the end. But I just think the fourth team that we're sleeping on is Villanova, and I think they're going to need to go on a little run, and I think they will. I think they're just going to be a tough team when they figure it out come March. The other teams are better now, hands down. I think Villanova has a bigger jump to make by March.
It's a good prediction. I just want Rob Doster to clip this and send it to Hurley so that he can just IV this into his veins. Okay, that's all I'm saying. We got a question here from Kyle. It says, who would win in a fist fight, Bill Self or Shaka Smart? Tyler Hansbrough, who would win in a fist fight?
Hey, I can't go against Bill Self now. I've been praising him all show. I can't do that to Self. So I'm going to roll Self. I think Self's got a little size on Shaka. Shaka looks like he's works out, he's in shape. Self kind of looks like he's trying to work his way into shape a little bit. So I think he's got maybe different weight classes, but I'm going to roll with Self.
Man, Shaka kicking his ass. Shaka going to beat his ass. I'm telling you.
Oh my God. I just have one question. Is the fist fight taking place in November or is it taking place in March? That tells me who would win, depending on what it happens. If it's November, I like Shaka.
So
if it's March, give me Bill Self. If it's March.
So bad.
Who's the best team in the Big 12 that no one is talking about? This comes from Alex RC. Who is nobody talking about in the Big 12 that deserves some love?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think Texas is going to bounce back and be better than start a little slippery there, but it's hard, man. Houston's they're all good. I don't know if there's. I need to see more from the bottom of their league before I jump out there and say something crazy. I haven't seen. I like Texas Tech. What I saw from them tonight, they're not there yet, but to say who's going to be the best team no one's talking about, I'm not there yet.
Tyler?
We just talked about Baylor's not really getting the respect that they might deserve. And also, I think you just put Jacoby Walter in Springfield not so long ago. So I'm going to roll with Baylor a little bit. I think they're not really getting the attention they deserve.
I did. That's my guy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big Jacoby Walter fan. I'll do it. Okay. The one team I think we haven't talked about at all is Kansas State, and maybe that's fair, but I feel like Baylor's at least in the conversation, right? Like, are we counting Jerome Tang's team out, RC?
I mean, I don't know how we can put it Baylor when they're 12th in the country. So I don't think that's like a reach to say we're not talking about him, right? Like, Tomlin's out. So listen, they lost Tomlin, and I don't know if he's going to play again this year. I thought that was a big blow to overcome. So if you're telling me he's going to be back playing the rest of the year, then I think they can probably make a run. If he's not coming back, I think that's a massive loss. I don't know how they respond from that.
Yeah. I haven't seen enough locker room videos with pregame music to know if Jerome Tang's team has the vibes yet. I need to see a little more of that. One more question here before we go back to break. This is from Jacob. He says, how many Big East teams will make the tournament? RC, we'll throw it back to you because you have a lot of Big East takes tonight. How many teams in sum are going to make the tournament?
I want to say 5. Marquette, UConn. We just talked about it. Marquette, UConn. I want to say Villanova. I think the conference will be how deep or how we view this conference is going to be. Does St. John make a rebound? And where does Xavier finish in that league if they can get in? But I think about 4, maybe 5 teams to get in. 5 teams. Sorry. Great.
Tyler?
Yeah, I'm going to go 5. Marquette, UConn, Creighton, Villanova, there's going to be a surprise in there too. I like St. John's too late in the year as well.
All right, you heard it here first. We're going to break. We'll be back to finish up your questions here on Field of 68 After Dark. It's the last call here on the Field of 68 After Dark. We got Randolph Childress. We got Tyler Hansbrough. And Tyler, we're going to put you right in the spotlight here with a question from Jacob. If you had not gone to North Carolina, where would you have gone?
I've already said it, Kentucky, actually. Everyone's going to be surprised as much as I hate Big Blue Nation right now. But Tubby Smith really recruited me hard, and I thought Tubby was a great coach. And, it was close. It actually wasn't close, but Kentucky was my second pick. I like Tubby.
RC, would you have approved of that move for Tyler?
That would have been a good look. I would have thought Kansas as well, but I would have thought he would have been a great fit at Kansas, but it wouldn't have mattered where he went. He would have won. So,
how many offers did you get, Tyler, that you just like straight to the trash can? I got to imagine a good amount.
I think I narrowed my list pretty early, and I think that's a smart thing to do if you're getting recruited. You don't want to drag it out. If you're not interested in school, I think too many kids do this. Just be honest, move on, and I think it benefits both you guys. But I had my list. It really came down to Kentucky. Actually, Florida was in the mix in North Carolina, but I visited Mizzou as well. When Quinn Snyder was there, they just got in a little bit of trouble, and so they kind of eliminated themselves.
Tough break for Mizzou fans. Okay, this is another one from Jacob here. Which team in Maui surprised you guys the most? We've talked about all the big names from this tournament. Whether good or bad, who surprised you this tournament, RC?
Purdue. Because the questions that we had about them guard play wise, I think they checked so far early this season, they checked those boxes. Against that competition, they stood up. The backcourt stood up. Jones had his moments, and the most consistent dominant force in the game has just been consistently being able to do that. So early on this year, the backcourt, the guards, the front line has all stepped up. And I don't think there's any question come next week who's the number one team in the country is.
Tyler?
Yeah, that's pretty much an easy answer, Purdue. But I will say, going into Maui, I thought Kansas was going to walk out being the champions. And I was really looking forward to maybe seeing a Zach Edey, Hunter Dickinson showdown in the finals. But I will say I was very surprised that Marquette handily beat Kansas in the semis. I was blown away by that. I thought Kansas had a lot of size and given a little problems with Dickinson and actually KJ Adams. So I could say that Marquette surprised me by how well they played against Kansas and beat them. But we know about Tyler Kolek and what he can do, and Cam Jones for them. So I'm going to have to roll with probably Marquette.
All right, this is another question from Sean. When will Pitino really get it going at St. John's? Tyler, your thoughts?
I like the way they're playing. I think I love Pitino's system. I think it can wear teams down, and I think the more this team buys in and the more coaching that Pitino has with them, I think they're going to continue to improve as the season goes on. Maybe they sneak into the tournament this year, but I will say I think it'll pay off here within 3 years. I mean, I don't think Pitino, he's not going to be there. You know, he's an older coach, so he's going to want to have a quick turnaround as it is. But I think he'll get that program rolling, and he'll find a way to do what Pitino does.
RC?
I don't know what the definition of going is, but I can't see it being longer than 2 years. Not next year, 2 years.
What if we define it as like national contender? 2 years?
Ooh, I'd say 2 to 3 years. I think the style of play, he'll remind you of how Boeheim was in the tournament. When he gets in the tournament and it matters, he'll find a way to win games. Like he's in that coaching, group of guys that could make a run. He's in that Izzo, coaching room. So I think I give him 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, you don't want to see that man across from you in a draw when the bracket comes out. You don't want to see that man. This is a question from Kyle. Thoughts on the NBA in-season tournament floors? Tyler, your thoughts?
I hate them. They're doing too much with the floors right now. And honestly, it's at times it's kind of hard to watch because there's so much color on that floor. I'm not the biggest fan of the floors. I've actually been complaining about it a little bit on my podcast. But, yeah, I don't like the floors. 100%. I'm out on them.
Garbage. Paint and leave the court alone, man. I had all that. They're doing too much.
Simple as that. You heard the man. Hey, it's time for toast of the night. We got about 10 seconds each. Tyler, we're going to you first. Who's your toast of the night?
Cormac Ryan, veteran player for North Carolina, came out, played with light energy in the second half, was a key factor for him. He's 25. He should do that as an older player.
Cormac Ryan, RC.
For me, it's Juwan Howard coming back from heart surgery, just getting back on the sideline. Great to get him back out there to health and more wins for Michigan and Juwan Howard.
Cheers to that. I'll drink to that, RC.
That's a great one.
My toast of the night. It has to be Matt Painter, boys. He heard the critics. He heard the boo birds, and all he did was come out and respond. His 31st consecutive non-conference win. Listen, it may not end in March. This is the Purdue era that we are in right now. For Tyler Hansbrough, for Randolph Childress, I'm Greg Waddell.